Hey, you're listening to the Smoke Meat Podcast. I'm your host, Brad Pittman. Smoke Meat's brought to you by Joe's Underground at the corner of 8th and Broad in Augusta, Georgia, in the bottom of the Lamar Building. Joe's is such a wonderful place. I love going in. Jeremy and the gang always make you feel like you're family and feel like you're at home from the first time you walk in there. You always get to meet new friends and you get to hang out with old ones. So go on down, have a drink, have a snack, just chill out, and tell them I sent you. As Joe's Underground at the corner of 8th and Broad in Augusta, Georgia, in the bottom of the Lamar Building. Remember, I goes to Joe's and so should you. Today, my guest is Simonetta Lein. I love Simonetta so much. She is so wonderful, such a great lady. She's an influencer. She's a model. She has the Wishwall Foundation, which helps a lot of people. We're going to talk some about that today and talk a little bit about Italian cooking, a little bit about Phillies. Just had a great time with her. Everybody kick back and relax, and let's kick this beast off here on Smoked Meat. Mm-hmm. How are you today, Simonetta?
Oh, very well. Thank you for asking. What about you?
Any better, I would be twins.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful day here. Just having a good one so far. Sunny, beautiful, not too hot. I'm loving it.
Here in Philadelphia as well. Beautiful. Just a little bit humid, I have to say, but beautiful and sunny. Like they always say, it's always sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah. Well, down here in Georgia, if you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes and it'll change.
I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
I really have to come and visit.
Yeah.
Well, come to meet you.
Yeah. When you come down here, you will be fed, I guarantee, because I cook.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, indeed. It tickles my wife because she says, if these people start taking you up on this offer once the quarantines are lifted, you're going to be feeding people every day. I said, that's fine.
You're going to have a line.
Yeah. I said, there's no telling who you'll see here, but hey, it'll be fun. Yep.
Yes.
Oh, man. But, I know you have done so much stuff. I know you started as a writer, and now you're one of the top influencers in the world. I mean, that's awesome to me.
Thank you. I actually started as a very young model. Before that, I was only 16 or something. Mm-hmm. And then I actually, before writing, I was also an actress, and I was literally paying my bills with it. So I was very, happy. Any actor knows how difficult it is, to get a job and actually pay your bills.
Yeah.
And then I got to a point where I actually went in a trip. It was a trip with a friend in India, and I started to write this kind of memoir of my life, even if it, of course, at that time was very young life, but I had a lot to share. And so I just started to literally write it for myself. And then when I came back to Italy, because I'm originally from Italy, I just shared it with someone that I knew that worked in the editorial world. And this person told me, listen, you really have to do something with it. And then they introduced me to a very inspiring editor. And there you go. I mean, it was a lot of work, but I got it published by one of the biggest publishing houses in Italy and in the world. And then from there, after that, I got that book out, Vanity Fair asked me to go and contribute for them. And at that point, I kind of put everything together from, again, my experience as a model and also as an actress and also as a writer, because I was doing basically everything for them. I was, doing, of course, I was writing pieces, but I also was doing a TV show for them, interviewing, big personalities, big celebrities in Italy, and also doing a radio show. Vanity Fair Italy radio show was actually very, very, I have to say that was a very important moment in my career because it taught me a lot. And also it gave me that idea of putting, everything together, which is so difficult, I might say, because people tend to see you only in one way. You are, that person, and you have to be only that. And I always, as when I was a little bit younger, I was struggling with that. I'm like, no, I have all this, why should I have to be only that?
Yeah.
And so Vanity Fair gave me that opportunity to, again, write and do videos and do radio. I'm like, see, I can do all of that. And that was always, my thing. In a way, I'm in a good way. I'm, envious of those people that have only one thing, because it's, at least it can be focused. When you have many, many things, I would say it's a little bit harder, because you have still to,
Yeah.
put, a message that is, that people can understand. And that was, one of the biggest thing that I, if I can share also with, young people that want to, create their own life, even if it's, as an entrepreneur, as an artist, as, whatever you want to do with your brand, you'll see that, again, if you have one mission, sometimes it's easier, because you have that. But if you are the type of personality like me that has, multiple things to do, to me, it's actually very exciting. It's just that people will say, I don't understand you. And so you have to find, a cohesive way to, put all of your messages together. And again, that experience of Vanity Fair really taught me that, and also prove the other people wrong, because they were saying, you have to be only an actor, you have to be only that. I'm like, no. So I kind of proved them wrong. And of course, social media also was kind of, the same type of melting pot, I would say, where I was able to, put everything together. So from, me still, of course, modeling, but also doing my TV show, but also, writing my, my own stuff. And then I also now write for the Entrepreneur magazine, for Forbes. So, it's a process, and your brain and your soul have to be aligned. And I always say, business to me is, the more you grow as a business person, the more you grow as a human being.
Yeah.
And that was my experience.
Yeah. And it's funny you talk about, the younger people making their brand and all. And one thing I'm learning through my show here is you've got to protect that brand at all costs.
Yes.
Because once it starts becoming a little bit recognizable, everybody wants a piece of it.
Absolutely.
I had one person who, just out of the blue said, look, if we can get a good sponsor, we can make a lot of money with this. I can help promote it, and I'll only take 40%. And I'm sitting there, and I said, no, we're not doing that. I've got one sponsor, and he's the guy who, when I decided to do this, I went to my home club because I do comedy, and I was talking to the owner. I said, I want to do a podcast. And he said, how much do you need? Never hesitated. And he bought my first round of equipment. And he's on the beginning of every show that I do now. I pushed him because they believed in me. And that's my only sponsor.
Wow.
And I love this. That's why I do it. I'd love to make a lot of money at it. Don't get me wrong. It would be great, but
yes,
I love doing this because I get to talk to so many good people, and it's not the canned interviews. We're talking.
But see, you share something very important. First of all, the importance of knowing when you say no, when you have to say no, and the importance of knowing, and this is again my experience, and also you were talking about money. Money will come. Yeah. It's very important that you say no at the right time, because even Mark Cuban, for instance, shared one time on the Shark Tank that I believe at the very beginning they offered him. Now I don't remember exactly how much money, but imagine like some millions of dollars, like a lot of money for his company, and he said no. And then after X amount of years, he sold it for like, I don't know, 10 times more.
Yeah.
So it's. Sometimes, again, you have to make some tough decisions. But again, there are people out there that see the potential, in you, and they'll try to, like you were saying, say, oh, can I do this? Can I do that? And you think, and you will, if you are not, grounded and understand the power of your brand,
yeah,
you might, just jump into it and say, whoa, and then instead, you could actually sell it for much more a little bit later. So another thing that I've learned along this journey is, to be patient. And it's something that I really didn't like to do. I had to learn.
Yeah, that one's hard for me, but I'm learning.
Right? but it pays off. It always pays off. I mean, it's the experience of so many entrepreneurs, so many people that have created their own brand. So it must be true, right? So again, of course, you cannot say no forever. Just of course be also humble and look around, understand. Like for instance, nowadays we're in a big crisis in the world. So of course you have to be able to negotiate a little bit, but that doesn't mean that you have to sell out your brand. So for instance, for my experience, I say no to so many brands. I'm like, no, because I don't want to contaminate my brand, and again, sometimes it's hard. Like you're saying, we all want to make, a lot of money, but again, God is good and will give you the right, ways, in my opinion, if you stay, true to yourself and if you keep on spreading good. I mean, this is what I truly believe. The more good you put out there, the more it comes back.
Definitely. And, even though, like I said, I don't make money off this thing, I think I make a penny a hit. I haven't made a whole lot of money, but I do it because I love to have fun with it. Like I say, the money will come. If I get a good sponsor, I'm going to take it because I'm human. I want some money. I'm not going to turn it down, but it's got to be the right thing,
Mm-hmm.
And,
absolutely.
And it's going to be, the show is still mine. I do everything with this. I record it. I work with some people who get me some really good guests. Eileen and Jimmy have been so awesome. I love them so much. And they've got me in touch with some really good guests. And, I edit this thing, I put it out, and it drives me crazy when somebody wants to come in and try and take a piece of it. You can't do that. But, the brand to me is the most important thing because, like I say, I stay away from politics and I stay away from the big controversies. I want everybody to have fun. And I want this to be fun
Absolutely.
for me, too, because if it is for me and it is for my guests, then everybody feels that. I don't do interviews. I make friends.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that's important. I've had several guests who I still talk to regularly that I never would have spoken
that's
to
so
before.
Sweet. Yeah, that's very sweet.
Yeah, during the riots, I called several of my friends out in California and L.A. and asked, are you making sure they were okay and seeing if they needed anything. And, that's just, we're connecting. We're friends now, and that feels good to me.
Absolutely.
And
That feels very good. I have the same type of mentality, even with my TV show. I mean, I just like to connect with people. And, eventually for the one that allow me to, to stay in touch. And because, hey, listen, life is so short.
Yeah.
Right. So it's actually very nice that we could, like you're saying, expand our friendship and just do something good out there.
Yeah. Yeah. And, I'm actually planning a trip. I'm planning one to California. I'm planning one to New York later in the year. But I know Philly's not far away. And even though
it's not far away.
Even though I make Phillies, you're going to have to take me somewhere to get a real Philly.
Oh, of course.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Of course. I actually live very close to the two places where people get a real cheesesteak. I mean, which is not, I don't want to say names because I don't want to talk bad about anybody, but, the ones that are more famous here in Philadelphia, they're not really good. Let's be honest. They're very for tourists. Yeah. I'm very, close to the ones that are, for the real people in Philadelphia. And funny enough, they actually are one in front of the other.
Mm-hmm.
So you see, the line for, they are, they differentiate themselves just, I don't know, one is healthier, I would say. The other one is greasier.
That's the better
so
one.
You might like them both. I personally, so in my experience, I thought I would have liked the greasier one because you think, but I actually like the other one better because the greasy one is really too much for me, But you should try both, and then you have to decide which one. They're both incredible. It's just that, one they maybe use different type of cheese. I don't know, so it's a little bit less. You eat it and you're fine. The other one, like you eat it and you want to go to sleep.
Yeah.
But they're both delicious, and it's where the real Philadelphians will go. And so literally 2 minutes far from my house.
Those are the best places to go because you remember the old cop movies and TV shows where the old grizzly veteran would take the rookie to this place that just looked nasty, had these greasy hamburgers. Well,
Yeah.
I had a partner that took me to one in Augusta one time. It's on a little back alley. It was called Delta Sandwich Shop. And we went in
Okay.
there for lunch, and it was just this nasty little building. And we went in, and they called their burgers Perry Burgers. And I ordered two of them, and the guy kind of giggled at me and said, "I'll bring you one." And I said, "No, I want two." And he said, "If you can eat another one, I'll have it on deck, but I'll bring you one." And I'm like, "Whatever, jackass. Okay." Yeah, he brought that thing out there, and it was just this huge burger with just the right amount of grease. It was just, it was amazing. And he was
Delicious,
right.
right?
I could only eat one, but I loved that place. I hate that it finally closed after all the years. But those are the best little places, little out of the way spots.
Totally. I'm all for, small businesses. I try to, support them as much as I can. I mean, there's
Yeah,
really no comparison, within fast food and the food that you will find in a chain. I mean, with all respect. But, it's just, finding, even like, for instance, in that place that I was mentioning about the cheesesteak, what I really like, in the place that I like
hmm
the most, is that it's all women run. So it's fun, there are all these women, out there, and it's just, an experience. And then they'll serve you, and it's, I mean, not now, unfortunately, for everything that is happening, but whatever.
yeah,
I mean, you can still get your cheesesteak and bring it home. But, I'm really looking forward to go back to the experience, because you go there and they, they're funny, and, I like that world. So
yeah.
I really want my world back.
And I understand. I understand. I've been
Yes,
elbow deep in this thing since it started. I'm a paramedic full time, and I do this to wind down. This is a hobby for me. This is what I do to have fun and
I
wind
see.
down. And the places we used to be able to go while we were on duty and eat. We can't even go sit in a Waffle House now, and that used to be the
I know.
paramedics' go to. And
Wow.
but hopefully it's going to get better. We've
Oh,
we've got a
hope
little
so.
spike.
It has to. It
Yeah,
has to. Because people are really getting tired. I mean, especially like we were talking about the small businesses. I mean, you see them like, closing one after another. It's like, come on,
yeah,
something has to happen.
yeah. I have a friend who
So,
just closed his dive shop down.
hmm
Yep.
and that's why personally, if I have to do something, I'll just go to my local shops. That's what I do, and that's what I always say also to people, to try to support their local business. Isn't it nice? I mean, you go in your place and there's life, right? I mean,
Yeah,
they it seems that only the big you know chains are surviving, and that's exactly what we don't want.
yeah.
So
Hey, that
people have
because
to keep on supporting their local businesses.
yeah, because that local business to me it represents somebody's dream. Somebody sat down with their family or their wife or whoever and said, "I want to do this. Let's take this chance."
Yes,
And that's like I said, they survived by us.
yes,
So I'm all for doing
I
some small
totally agree.
businesses. And
I totally agree, and I still want to try your food as well.
oh, you come to Atlanta, you are fed. I guarantee. I can make anything.
Yay!
Um, Now I know in Italy there are different regions. Each region has their own type of food. Which region are you from?
So I am from. It's called Friuli, Venezia Giulia. It's so there's the Veneto region and then Friuli, Venezia Giulia. I am literally for 40 minutes far from Venice. So just to give you, an idea.
Hmm.
And definitely we have different foods all over
Definitely.
Italy. People think of Italy only one way, and they think that everyone eats the same thing, and really not true. I remember when I first met my now husband, the way that he was cooking his pasta was like, "What are you doing?" Because so he was born in America, but his family is all from the southern part of Italy,
Hmm.
and he really, kept those traditions alive. So, for instance, the classic way that you boil the water and you put the pasta and then you do the sauce on a side, that is actually what we do in the northern part of Italy.
Mm-hmm.
In the south, they cook it all together, like if it's a risotto, you know, the type of thing. So, like a risotto. So basically, you know, you put the pasta and you put a little bit of the, you know, the water, you know, and you have to stir it, and then you put also the sauce together. You cook it all together, you know, so
Yeah.
it becomes more maybe juicy, you know. There are all the amid thing that, you know, gets out from the pasta. I mean, it just so again in the northern part of Italy, you cook your pasta in the boiling water and you do your sauce. In the southern part of Italy, you do it all together, and it's kind of again, it's a different taste. And then they also do recipes. For instance, I had no even idea. Like I don't know, pasta and peas, pasta and chickpeas,
Mm-hmm.
pasta and potatoes, which is something that we just don't do. Like for instance, in the north we do rice and potatoes that they don't do in the south. So it's just, you know, there are, and then of course there are. For instance, in my region we have something called frico.
Mm-hmm.
It's like kind of a frittata of cheese. So
Mm-hmm.
you have to basically potatoes, and you have to cook your potatoes, and then once they're ready you just have to dump lots and lots of cheese. Usually you can the cheese that is recommended is called Asiago. I
I
think they
love
became here
Asiago.
as well. Isn't it delicious? And you
Mm-hmm.
put a lot of Asiago, and then of course it melts, and then you have to flip it like really like a frittata, and then, you know, it becomes delicious. And then you do some polenta on the side. You can even do some mushrooms. Of course, it's more for the winter. It's very, you know, because it gets very cold
Yeah.
in the northern part of Italy. So it's, you know, that is something that, for instance, you would never find in the south.
Mm-hmm.
Or, for instance, it's funny when I discover about this recipe. It's called the Genovese. So the Genovese is is actually something that I never heard of. That again they do only in the south. And this is funny. So they call it a Genovese because people from Genoa,
Mm-hmm.
they, I mean, this is of course a joke that we do in Italy. They say that people from Genova are a little bit, how could you say, cheap, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And so this type of pasta is actually, you have to get um, just the basic meat, you know, the one that it's really, you know, the cost less. So like a tough piece of meat,
Mm-hmm.
and you just have to boil it forever, you know, for hours and hours and hours
Yep.
and hours with, of course, you know, vegetable and spices until, you know, it actually, you have to do it in the pressure pot
Mm-hmm.
until it becomes, you know, then shredded. And then you have to do, you know, your pasta, and then that is your sauce, you know, with that type of meat. And again, it's called a Genovese because, you know, you use that type of, you know, cheap meat, and it's delicious, you know.
Yeah.
But it's something that, again, before meeting my husband, again, I'm Italian. I'm like, what is this? So, you know, it's actually interesting to, you know, to discover different culture, because Italy, see, everyone thinks about Italy as, you know, one country, but a lot of people have no clue that Italy, yes, nowadays it is one country, but again, it's all the regions.
Yeah.
And honestly, if we want to look a little bit of history, Italy was forced to be together, unfortunately, in a very brutal way. No one talks about it, but and that, the people don't say it in the, you know, our books. But the very first concentration camps that history had was in the southern part of Italy, when they literally said, "Okay, if you want to be with the Savoy, basically, yes, okay, no, kill you." That's what they did, and they also stopped school for 15 years when they got the domain, because they literally wanted to, you know, make people stupid,
Yeah.
honestly. I mean, no one says it, no one talks about it, but thank goodness we still have, you know, the oral traditions, and our grandparents taught us that, and, you know, what really happened down there.
Yeah.
So they basically went there, they forced them to be together. No one knows that the southern part of Italy was actually so rich, so wealthy, so peaceful. Everything that you can think is a first started in Naples, right? The first, I don't know, University of Psychology, the first highway, the first of everything started in Naples. There was zero unemployment. It was just a beautiful, it was, there was so much gold, so much, you know, wealth, and that's why they wanted it.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's, as an Italian, and a lot of Italians, trust me, don't even know this. As an Italian, again, I love my country, but there is, some pain in there because I know that, again, we didn't decide to be together. We were forced to be together in a very brutal way.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we still maintain this regional thing, which I think is still awesome because, again, you maintain your culture. We people don't know that, for instance, you think, oh, Italian, as a language. Yeah, we all speak Italian, but we have dialects. And of course they're starting forever to try to tell you that if you speak your dialect, you're stupid,
Mm-hmm.
And dialects in Italy are literally other languages. It's not Italian. Like, for instance, if they speak a Neapolitan, in the Neapolitan dialect, I don't understand a thing. It's just another language. But it's the beauty, in my opinion, of the places. And again, the local culture, the local food. But this explains a lot why they're still. How could you say, maybe, I don't want to say hatred because it's not the right
More pride in your region. We'll
word.
call it that.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, and and there are jokes around, people in the north, people in the south, there are jokes around it because now again it's kind of peaceful. But for instance, I was actually personally shocked. I watched this documentary movie about Maradona.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you remember the very famous soccer player. He was from Argentina, and he became. I mean, he was literally, and he's still literally God in Naples. You go to Naples and you see the statues of Maradona, around like if it's a saint, with candles. It's literally like that. And it was crazy though because, and I didn't know that. While I was very, angry at it when I saw it. That when he used to go and play, with the Naples team up in the north. They were, screaming against him and, with terrible things.
Mm-hmm.
And I really, I hate that, but I understand it from a cultural point of view. I mean, again, I don't, I really was, as a person from the north, I was disgusted by it, but I can explain you from my historical point of view why that happened. Because again, people, from the north didn't want to be put with the people, from the south. It was just literally, they were literally forced, with guns. And so that's the reason why you have that. But again, nowadays we're trying to, to be of course, we're trying to be a country.
Yeah.
In general, I would say that also Italians in abroad, they don't, if you think about it, other culture, they really stick together. Italians, and that may be another of the reason why they just don't stick together. It's strange to say, you see so many cultures that, when they are in another country, for instance, America, the beauty in my experience, in my opinion of America is, all this, beautiful races and cultures. That actually it's what really attracted me, to this country. I find it fascinating, and you really trust me. And people from here that never travel are a little bit spoiled. They don't understand how good it is to be here, to feel that, again, besides the fact that I just became an American citizen for real,
Nice.
but I always felt American, even, being here because, America has this unicity that, trust me, you don't find it in Europe. In Italy, we were Italians only Italians for so long. When we started to have immigrants, it was strange, for us because that's, same thing with, France, same thing with Spain. It's just another culture, and America has, in my opinion, that beauty instead of, you are Asian, but you are American. You are Italian, but you are American. I just think it's beautiful. So people should really, study a little bit more, travel, and understand, that they have a lot of good here. And again, I'm talking now as an American, but an immigrant.
Nice.
It's very true.
Outstanding. Well, I know we're getting close on our time. I know you got some stuff to do. Tell me about the Wish Well real quick, because I want to promote that.
Oh, yes. So the Wishwell Foundation is something that started from that project that I was mentioning, that I was doing with Vanity Fair as an idea, meaning that when I was working at Vanity Fair, I was asking to celebrities about their wishes and their goals and how they were, achieving those goals. And then I was just missing the link with everyday people. And that actually was the idea that, brought me to, okay, from the work that I was doing at Vanity Fair to open my own blog. And it was about giving everyday people the possibility to share their dreams and how they, wanted to achieve them, and like kind of a social media type of idea where also people could, find their, other people's dreams and, maybe help. That was the idea at the very beginning. And then when I moved to America, I mean, America it's huge, So even from the internet perspective, the algorithm went all over, and I literally started to have wishes from all over. And so I said, I need to be organized. And that's when I had to learn about, really creating a non-for-profit. I had no clue. And that was not in my plans. Again, my plans were, I help you if I can. And that's what I did as a human being. I helped so many people that I never met, that I will never meet. And, it was just a pleasure for me to try, to give this inspiration to people. But then I had to learn how to be, like I said, organized. So if people don't know, having a non-for-profit means you have to register as a 501c3. It's not that easy, but eventually I remember that the lawyer was very impressed by the fact that we actually did it very fast. So eventually I always said that God wanted me to, he helped me for sure. I felt that I was truly helped somehow. And I also had the city of Philadelphia really backing me at the very beginning when we did the very first public event. It was actually when Pope Francis came to Philadelphia, so we put up a physical wish wall in this case, and people came, from all over the city and put up their wishes. And that was still something that, as a human being, changed my life. The event itself was beautiful. I met, so many, beautiful people that were so grateful for what we were doing. And also was able to grant one of those wishes that I still am, I'm still very, very proud of what we have accomplished there. It was, we granted this wish about a young woman who was killed in a hit-and-run accident. And we were able to first rename a street after her. Actually, it wasn't only a street; it was the street where she grew up. So it was very meaningful. And the important thing is that even there, they all told me that it wouldn't be possible. They all told me, this is Philadelphia, the fourth largest city in America. Again, at that time, I was here for like 6 months or something. So as an immigrant, I had this dream that everyone told me, listen, you have no clue. It's true. It's a very tedious procedure because, listen, the mayor has to approve it. It takes time. Yeah. And I remember it was September, and this woman was killed on December 23rd, of the year before. So now we're talking, again, it was September, maybe 15 or so. So we had literally like 2 months to make it happen in my dreams. And everyone told me, no, it's not going to be possible. Forget about it. And I made it happen. And so I proved them wrong again. That, if you really want to make something happen and if you are pure in your intention, I really want to give, these people a nice Christmas. I said, this daughter will not come back. But at least, I want the city to acknowledge the fact that they cannot forget about their people, and this is, of course, that my idea was a signal that I wanted to, give to this family and in general to all the people that unfortunately, have to live with something like that. And that was the first thing, and it was, of course, huge. And then, of course, the mother really asked me to find the killer. And that was something that I said, of course, it's totally, I have no clue. I don't know. I just, again, put together some ideas and I said, how much reward are you putting as, the city for, someone to, just speak about it and give a name? And they said $5,000. I said, no one will speak for $5,000. So that was, I said, can we do something? And so they actually decided to, put $15,000 together with also Clear Channel and AAA. And believe it or not, they put like this huge billboard, again, sponsored by Clear Channel, very near where she got killed. And they actually finally someone, gave a name, and I went to the trial, and he went to jail.
Outstanding.
So that was, something that, see, I still have goosebumps. And
Outstanding.
again, I always say I don't want any merit for it. I'm just, a humble observer of the fact that we can do things. They keep on telling us that we are just, a person. What can you do? And I showed that as an immigrant, I was here for 6 months or so. I didn't know anybody. I just really wanted to genuinely help these people and have them having a decent Christmas, and, bring some, some peace and some closure as much as I could. So, of course, again, some angels must have helped us, because I understand that nowadays I still don't believe it happened, but it did happen. But again, it showed me as a human, and I hope that it can inspire a lot of people that we are absolutely capable of doing incredible things, and we can achieve them if we really want to do so.
Well, I tell you, I'm so happy that you've came on here, and you're welcome on here anytime. I don't care when or what.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, you keep this number, and all you got to do is call and say, "I'm ready to talk some more," and I will hit record.
Ah, that would be sweet.
And
Yes.
anything I can do for you, I will be happy to. And if you come to Atlanta, you're fed, because you're going to have to try my pasta. You're going to have to try my sauce, and I also make my own Italian sausage. So.
Please.
Yep.
Oh, my goodness. You're the real deal.
I will fix you up.
Wow.
I'm actually going to try and do a Mexican ravioli. So I'm going to see how that turns out. So, we don't do Chef Boyardee anymore. Well, thank you so much. And, like I say, if you need anything, you just let me know. And you are a beautiful person inside and out. And I'm so happy to have met you and made a friend.
Absolutely. Here as well. And let's be in touch 100%.
Definitely.